And I don't know if I should like put it out there as like forgiveness or not, but I will, because like the part where Jesus can stay but John actually leaves if he has to, if it's still being sold, actually affects everyone. Because for example, he has to, because eventually it's going to affect your kids, right? What the text, the sometimes the text actually selling it, and a lot of them are being hacked. That's why the political news sounds absolutely horrible. They probably could have avoided some of this, like with like all those type of loans they were giving out, like arm extension loans and stuff like that. And instead of doing it that way, then do your socialist break if you wanted to for like 4 years. But having people ending up dying in a hospital or whatever because you just are now getting teched with tons of things you can do to a person is kind of sad, scary. So when I look at the news or I look at like some of the political figures and even some of the enemies or the enemies of the political figures, I feel like they're just finding murky waters now. They're finding the bad stuff. So, with that said, John has to leave sometimes, and some places are different than others. John sometimes has to actually literally leave the actual situation because it's not, can't stay in it. But Jesus is still there, like, it's still with them. So, like, that's why I do a lot of the don't drill through, salt to get to the oil too fast, type thing, or to drill through the salt domes to get to the oil faster actually hurts everyone in like a really fast period of time. So, um, Jesus is still in it. There's also like, remember like the movie The Knowing? I don't know who did that one, but like what happens with the people that do the lion and the lamb thing, one of them starts lying because they're scared of the other, basically, when it's this bad. And so, if they take World Children's Vision too far, you have like they expect kids to face giants, basically. And I think, I don't know where, but that happened in the movie The Knowing. It seemed clear to me that they were using Caleb to do the Book of Matthew as a child. It seemed like that's where the sun was pointing them in that one. So you don't want that. Um, and it's really frustrating. The four tech ones are really, really bad, just in general and overall ways of life. It would be like horrible, and I'll give you real examples because they really do. I think I said Ted Bundy is like, I don't know who the person really was, but Ted Bundy talked about the people of the person that was doing it. He talked that way, and he got put in jail as a lawyer for it. And then that would be like the Church of Smyrna, where people were put in jail for too long, bad judges. So when I'm saying I forgive, I know that this country has grown justice sometimes to be 2 times more the child of hell too, to the point where people really just don't, um, can't understand it. Period. So that's there, that is there. And then like when in the Thyatira church, like I said about like there's an old saying about it. It causes people to stop farming as much. And the weird things start happening in smaller areas or in outside of bigger cities. So, um, because it kind of goes, because they're, and then after they loan out, then you'll see a drop, like you do like now, like you'll see a drop in like, what do you call it, wages or something, like average wage of this is still not what it was. I did hear though that was a good thing though for people in dens and stuff like that trying to work this out and everything to get out of dens and stuff like that. But or to, sometimes you have to flee. You do have to flee, and it's not because they were any better than anybody else, but sometimes they really do gotta flee it. The den ones, I said something about it, but then I saw like a commercial, not a commercial, something about Ford taking a strike to keep their jobs here and stuff like that, and still keep. Technically, you're saying you want your same wage, and that's good. I dropped big time because I was like, oh shit, they're playing Bell and shit like that. I gotta like fucking like, I'm gonna take a real nosedive. Um, but like, and the phone companies. So it's a lot of companies. So think about it this way. Remember, like a while ago when everyone started moving towards staffing agencies, um, it became the norm, and now it's kind of like just weird. It's really fluid and weird. But I was gonna say, yeah. So forgiveness is still like right in there. It's what Jesus tells them to do at the end, even if they couldn't fix it or they were cause of the problem themselves. That's where it's at. But John might have to leave if it's getting sold. He has to go to the next one to wake them up, because in the next one, like, there's people that I argue with people all the time. I try to wake them up and everything. I'm long suffering for it and all that kind of stuff, but it doesn't always work. The people that really like are living life and they have no idea. They have no idea it's going on. They had no idea it's going on. They're living life, but they're just like not paying attention enough. Jesus says, wake up. Something might come to you like a thief. You know, or I hope it's always Jesus and not somebody that's just targeting somebody, because that's why I said it's a lot of it's tech, and it's gotten super, 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 super bad in the United States too, and that's why I always like I don't know what to say. Like, even I've been teched bad, and the ones about the people who are Catholic, the three crosses are coming up again because Babylon Tech 2 is on, and it's like, people will the like the clock, the hand that keeps moving around the clock. That hand is actually following the same circle while other hands are moving things around, and then all of a sudden, weird stuff happens and you get in trouble for it, but then you can't get out of trouble for it, and it just sometimes it happens like that, or it just goes on and on and on really, really long. Plus they're attacking you and saying weird things to you to make you go freaking a little nuts. That is, I don't know how bad or why bad it's got to be that bad, or why people, consider it like the Adam, little tiny Adam. Remember little Adam in Florida? Like, it's, they want to be the child victim in it, but they shouldn't be, type thing. This is not something you want to do, because you are not a little kid, and you're also not Adam Little Welsh either. So don't have that mind about it. But like but people are saying, like when they were hiring people for some of these telephone things that were actually part of a chain thing, a lot of them don't know. So to they John will move to the people that have power to know, and they also have a lot of life they think they live, to try to wake them up. And that's for your undercurrent people, that'll help your poor and get out of some of these really twisted things. And then there's Laodicea. I can already tell what that tech backwards is going to be. It's probably going to be like, because you're hot and cold, they're going to assume it to be about sex or something like that, because hot, cold, or whatever. And after this tech thing and cold atlas, I know somebody's going to try to pull that shit. But I hope not. And I know Jesus is smart. So.